The start of our latest bike trip is a Croatia trip, and it starts in Split, Croatia, which we flew into 3 days ago, not 2.5 days ago. And my wife selected this boutique hotel, which has a total of about 8 rooms. Ours has a little kitchen with just enough cereal to make breakfast, with a little refrigerator. And I got some soy milk. There is this regular milk, long life milk already here, and enough dishes. There's also some pots and pans in one of these drawers. So that was quite sufficient. The funny way this town is set up, there's lots and lots of little narrow alleyways which are too small for a usual American style car to fit through, and this is something that here comes a motorcycle, which fits in the alleyway, but it's more for walking than for riding, and definitely not for driving, although I can imagine Tom Cruise having a high-speed chase through something like this. And we end up having 3 sets of windows so we can get cross ventilation. On the other side is a patio area for sitting. The other side has 2 rooms as you enter that door, or 2 rooms as you enter this door. And this one you get up by an outside balcony. And the office is down below on the ground floor. As we leave our front door, it's 1 floor down to where the office area is, and there are 3 more floors above us here, which I imagine have units similar to ours. And Zephyrus is the name of this little boutique hotel in Split. And on the other side of the patio is a gate, and on the other side of the gate is similarly a narrow walkway slash bike lane, too narrow for a car. So we had to actually walk uphill with our bags from the nearest road to get here. This is the back route, which is sort of circuitous. The other side I showed you is actually a straight uphill from a drivable road, which is barely drivable for the small vehicles in this area. So this is the bathroom that comes with the unit. Now the strange things. Now this is a drying rack, but we haven't figured out how to turn it hot. But we just use it as a drying rack. And another one that holds the towels. Now, 3 switches here. The left one is a fan icon. Turns on exhaust fan. The other one here is a light icon, and that turns on the room lights. The other one, you think, what is this thing? Well, that actually is the power for the water heater, which hangs right above the toilet. So if you want to have hot water, you've got to leave that switch on all the time. This is a very huge shower head, and this is adjustable enough so it never comes out severely fast unless you want it to. And the good thing is here, the shower door closes completely, whereas we've had some in like France that always have an open space and you can't really keep the water in the shower very easily. This is our first night of back roads in Croatia. Space for all our suitcases and bike bags, bike supplies. Then there's another space here for more of our luggage. Then closet, safe, closet, and then the bathroom has both a tub, 2 sinks, shower, toilet, and a functional exhaust fan I can hear going on up here at the ceiling. Drying rack for towels. Fortunately, it's not heating, which makes it obnoxious to touch. I think they call this casual lodging, which much more than casual to me. Okay, then it also has this balcony area. We're supposed to have a reception on the roof there, I think 7 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Anyway, this first island in the distance, which is all we see here, is known as Brack. This will be our island tomorrow, and we'll be staying on that island, I believe. Unless we're just crossing it, I'm not sure. I don't remember the details of it. We're on that tomorrow. Only one night at this lovely hotel. Okay, this is on the island of Hvar, and the reason it took 3 hours to get here was we traveled to the far end of the island instead of the middle of the island, and so we had to go around the tip of the island, and it landed over in this position, and then we had to walk. They said it's a 10-minute walk to get here. And then the way we were brought in, there was a lot of steps to get up to the reception area, and then still more steps to get to the living area. So anyway, it's got this little balcony, but the room size is substantially smaller than it was in the mainland island from last night. So we have to really search for places to put things. There's not all that wall space and wall length to put our gear. Bathroom later on, but I found I could put things under the beds. So some of my smaller supplies I could put there. This one closet is sort of a pain. Push to open, so I got one small suitcase here and a place to hang up. They have a hairdryer in this drawer, and then you've got to close the doors to be able to get around the closet, so it's open and close for each time it's been used. So substantially smaller refrigerator here, and I don't believe there's a microwave pole. I guess other stuff could be stored here. Get off the ground. So we have 2 nights here. We sort of wish we had 2 nights in the first location on the main island, mainland area of Croatia. This is two islands over. So the bathroom for this Hvar hotel has this unusual door setup. We pull out one and it opens both of them. So it's got the usual sink, mirror, little mirror, a couple towel racks. This one's actually a little loose. Then it has a tub with a sprayer there, adjustable up and down. Now, this is the limit of the shower door, shall we say, and the rest is open. And so we have to count on a towel bath mat to absorb any that spills out. And then the toilet, which has the two different flushing, small flush right, larger flush left. For electricity, it has the standard European outlet, which uses the same adapters that we got for France and Spain and also for Switzerland, and I'm assuming we're going to use the same thing for Italy. It also has a 120 volt plug-in, but since I already brought this heavy transformer, I just use this with my Norelco shaver. And so that's the basic bathroom setup here. Oh, so the other thing I wanted to say was, jumping back to our first hotel with back roads, a very large, luxurious hotel, which had both a tub and a shower, they had the same sort of limitation. They had a divider like this for the walk-in shower, and the water would spray out onto the floor. The tub had the same sort of glass halfway across, and you had to be careful when using the sprayer that it didn't spray out onto the floor. Neither of us used the tub, but both of us used the shower, and it splattered out beyond the confines of the shower entrance, and the rug towel that we put in front of it was not enough to capture it, because it went way beyond the size of the towel for the shower, because it had this nice shower head above it. No matter how careful either of us were, it sprayed out on the floor. And so I've got this cold, which makes my voice sound funny, which it seems like the last 3 trips to Europe, I've gotten first time in 2023 got COVID, second time in 2024 I had a cough throughout the whole thing, and this one, on the first day of back roads, I started with a sore throat and a cold. Now my wife's got it as well, both negative for COVID, but still a cold to come in us for, who knows, the next 10 days or so of a European trip. This is our 3rd hotel on the 4th night with back roads in Croatia. So we have here what looks like a kitchen, however every single cabinet is empty. So we have a kitchen table here, which we're going to use to hold a large suitcase, 4 chairs, couch, these items to hold the many suitcases that we have. This, yeah, it's a mini fridge. And I don't know that there's a microwave. We requested 2 separate beds, which are barely separated, but that might solve the problem, because every time I move, getting in or getting out of bed or whatever, it typically woke up my wife if it's one bed, so maybe that might be sufficient. So we do have an outside balcony area, dressers, closet, The weird thing about this door is it's stopped by the bed, so there's no way to close the bedroom door, and then you can get gouged on this handle walking in or out. Do the bathroom a separate time. And I would say a huge balcony. It is partitioned off for just us. This is the outside of the bedroom, and the view is lovely also. My wife asked me to get her a blanket out of the closet. Well, everything's empty. Every cabinet is empty. And I thought, oh boy, I'm going to have a problem with reflux with only one pillow. So I figure I might be using the couch instead for that. So we're only here one night and then moving on to our final location. So the bathroom is quite spacious. The usual situation with the shower door, the tub, only covers about half of the tub width, and so you have to try to keep from spraying out too much. Lots of space underneath. So this is the bathroom in our Hilton Dubrovnic hotel, so I guess it doesn't really count. This must be a 12-foot ceiling because I have a chance of reaching up. Here's the 8-foot mark, and it's still way beyond there. The typical shower tub. Entryway. The requested 2 beds, slightly larger than expected. So it seems luxurious instead of the casual, which we were told is the trip, but this part of it is like luxury. So this is a sort of boutique hotel in Florence. We requested 2 beds, and so it's a sort of a double room. This window opens inwards, which sort of swings open, so I gotta walk around it if you do. So closet with safe and little mini fridge, platform to put suitcases on. Step up for the bathroom, which has a bidet and toilet, and then in here is a large head shower. No light in the shower area, but this should be sufficient. I'm not sure what one of our friends, we have a friend with us in a different floor, was complaining about no light in the shower. I don't know. So this again is a window that swings open. So this is an alley too narrow for a van. Our van dropped us off at the street at the end, which I thought was too narrow to have a van as is. So just arrived. We'll be here, I guess, for 6 overnights, and then we'll continue on to other places. So this is the 6th hotel of sorts. So we just have to get used to the step down from the bathroom. There's a breakfast included. We have to select the time for that. And that is the heater up there. So this is still the 6th hotel. The electrical outlet here is a little bit different in that they've got, first of all, it's not recessed, so it's easier to get to, but there's still 2 holes for the prongs instead of 1. But what we found is the same adapter that we've been using in all the other European countries will fit into here. And so it looks like it's the inner of the 2 sets that it fits into. And then this being a 120 volt or 220 volt type of recharger for USBs, it fits into there without having to use a step-down transformer. So this has been fun, but it's just a little bit of a weird connection here. And when my wife she bought a teapot because the hotel didn't come with any hot water option other than down in the kitchen. It wasn't fitting in there properly, so I suggested, okay, put in this adapter and then plug the teapot into that, and it worked fine. So we had ordered this room with 2 beds, but the original picture for this same numbered room showed the room with a chair, and it didn't have a chair. Probably because they stuck an extra bed in there to fill the space. I found it been sufficient. The only weird thing really was the shower. The shower is the most narrow walled shower. It's long enough from front to back. A very nice shower head, but the width of the shower is quite narrow and confining, and it's easy to hit elbows on both sides simultaneously because it's so narrow. Having an alley right outside here, we found there was so much talking, so much noise that there's no way to leave the window tilted open. Plus, we saw some bugs coming in, so there's and they seem like mosquitoes. And so in the evening, if we had the windows open, like in the bathroom, shut the window. To me, it looks like they've got relatively new flooring inside this hotel. A little inset window here. This is stairs that only go to the outside and not back in. Here is an outside area that in some pictures was shown as being a patio, but indeed we don't really have use of it. It's like they store these carts here. In some pictures they had flowers sitting out here, but nope, nothing that shows up. The hotel access is in this fairly narrow alley. We don't usually expect cars to come down here, but they sometimes do. Usually it's motorcycles and such. So electric doors always open. But really weird looking graffiti covered walls, garage doors and such. So on this European vacation, this is our 7th hotel. This is in Venice, not far from the train station. So this is what the bathroom looks like. Shower with adjustable shower head connected to the wall. Bidet, toilet, drying rack. I'm not sure what this is. I guess it's an open space to an adjacent room. I don't know. I've never seen that before. And it has the usual on-off switch plugs. Tissues. The last place didn't have any tissues. We had to go out and buy tissues. So it has both bath towels, hand towels, and bath mat. So this hotel has an elevator, kind of a tight one, kind of two people facing each other. It's pretty well filled. It also has stairs. But the surprising thing was when we got off at the third floor here, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms directly next to the elevator, and then, of course ours wasn't there, there's a step down to the hall, to the stairwell, and then there's 2, 3, 4 steps up to these set of stairs. I don't know what that's about, double set of stairs, and then 2 steps down. So we had to hoist the bags over all those steps to get to the room on the same floor. Kind of annoying. So our room, we packed our 2 biggest suitcases, so we won't have to touch them again until we roll them to the train station tomorrow. Just got a place to set this suitcase, our 2 sort of bags of toiletry items, another suitcase there, and as usual we asked for a second bed, so they put in this little sort of twin bed here. Maybe it was always a couch, and they just turned it into bed. I'm not really sure. So and they have a little end table here for me to pile stuff up on, as they do a similar end table here for nighttime equipment. Mini fridge. As usual in European hotels, there's no microwave. Not that we're missing it. No, there's no closet, but there's hang-up rack area, and I think this is possibly a blanket for one of us on top of there. And this looks out into the little alleyway between the buildings here. And a second window here as well. They have the usual outlets for recharging, and then the various sort of confusing array of light switches that are accessible on both sides of the larger bed. This is hotel room number 7, with I think 2 more to go. We're going to be renting an apartment in Bern, Switzerland next, and then a different hotel the night before we go to the night before we get on a plane to back to the U.S. We're flying out of Zurich, and so we're renting a hotel for the overnight in Zurich, so we don't have to rush through train connections from Bern to Zurich in the morning of our last day. This is our 8th hotel room. We're now in Bern, Switzerland. This very compact bathroom, sink, shower, large overhead sprayer or handheld sprayer. This is the only room they had with 2 beds, and this is so incredibly tiny. Well, we have these two suitcases that we figured we don't need to get anything more out of, so I stuck those in the corner. This is a closet on wheels with a little shelf there, which I've loaded up with stuff. Twin bed, nightstand. Outside, I didn't get a look, but I don't think we can step out there. Oh, there's a little railing, so I guess we can open up the open up the door and actually step 1 foot out or look out. A little chair, suitcase thing, little table. Now, here they have these, they said they didn't really figure this something with recycling. This fits into the garbage can, these 3 things, but they haven't really figured out what goes where. And behind the sliding glass door here is a toilet room, so nothing unusual there. So this is what we got for one night. We had set up, we thought, an apartment that we're going to rent for 10 days. So we got to the place and found out that the lockbox was missing and nobody was there to let us in, and so we basically reported it to the bed and breakfast office. A very complicated situation, but I think somebody stole the lockbox, which means they probably cracked it open, and they might even be might have already stolen what's in the apartment there. We couldn't reach the owner, and there's some language barrier on top of it. It wasn't German, wasn't English, sort of sounded Slavic or Russian or something from one of the owners. Anyway, co-owner. Anyway, so this is unexpected. So with the help of our son, we've set up another bed and breakfast, which we're going to move to tomorrow. We hope it'll be much better. It'll be like an apartment, whereas this one is barely big enough for 2 people to sort of coexist. But a very interesting modular setup here. This is a typical thing. You've got to put in the room key or you don't get any lights. So, kind of typical of Europe, that is. And that's all. So this was our 8th hotel in Europe this year. Okay, this is our 9th lodging setup in Europe. This is Bern, Switzerland. We're renting an apartment through Airbnb, I believe it is. We got in with a specific passcode here. Front door and this door the same. And I forget what's in this closet. There's a step up and step down from the black down to each room. Kitchen, microwave, refrigerator, cleaning supplies in this cabinet. Looks like some sort of shop vac. This is a fold-out couch, which will serve my purpose of having a much larger bed and using chairs as luggage holders.
What was my booking code? Seems not too bad. 5 what?
Hold on. Okay, then we have a dining area, living room, and this is some sort of a heater, cooler unit, whichever, I'm not sure. And then yet another bedroom, still in the unpacking stage. And there is a nice little outdoor sitting area. And there's public transportation, which we have accessible by way of renting this unit. We have free access to the city transportation system. And this is the name associated with this. What is this? 9th rental? Anyway, and this book has all sorts of information inside about apartment and Bern. We have free local bus and subway, not subway, bus and rail car transportation around Bern as part of this arrangement. We're given instructions on how to get the Bern welcome packet, which includes how to register for the mass transit while we're here. And it goes on to our cell phone, so if we get asked for Fahrkarte tickets, we just show the registration on our phone. And it has the times of when it's available, and it expires after we are scheduled to leave this facility. In the lower level of our rental unit here, they have, just pretty much ground level, they have a front-loading washer, which is sort of complicated, controlled by a electronic card that we have that came with the place, so we haven't had to pay for it. Then they have these dryers, which are very strange. This is the brand here, and this one is something different, but they operate in a similar way. You know, dryers have the usual, you know, change the lint filters after use, which I did last night. It looks like it hasn't been reused since then. But what really comes off strange is it takes a really long time for them to dry, yet the water from the clothes ends up in a water tank, which you don't see any water in here, but when somebody's put a full load of laundry through, this can be a fairly full tank of water that you have to take back over down the hallway to where that sink is. This one, Inconvenience, has a cracked one, so you have to be careful to sort of lean it forward so it doesn't leak all over the floor. So anyway, it doesn't have an outside exhaust vent the way they do in America. What it does is it somehow extracts the water a little bit in the air, but mainly it recondenses it back into here, which is the water that was in the clothing during the wash cycle. So the air kind of goes, I don't know, in one side and it goes out someplace else, but the clothes doesn't get real hot and dry like you expect a normal dryer of this size should be able to do. It only gets a little bit hot, and the room doesn't get hot because the dryer doesn't really get hot. The clothes doesn't really get that hot. So anyway, this is just something invented in Europe, and it takes, like the washer takes almost an hour and a half on a normal cycle, and this takes almost an hour and a half, but the clothes isn't quite dry then. So anyway, that's what we have here, which is, you know, free for our use, but it's a little bit disappointing as dryers go. So this is the 9th place we've stayed in Europe this year. This is Bern, Switzerland, apartment we're running. Some of the common features is typically the tub or shower tends to be a little bit on the slippery side most places, and there may or may not be any sort of grab bar. I found this bath mat down in the dryer side of the laundry room, and doesn't quite have enough suction cups, but it does cover the bottom of the bathtub pretty well and makes it a little less slippery. And so I've been using this since day 2 of our stay here. Also, tubs tend to be a little difficult to climb in and out of. The height of the tub and the height of the floor are often different, and so I try to, since there's no grab bars, try to hold on to this shelf thing here, then hold on to the tub or lean against the wall and sort of ease myself in. And to keep climbing out, you know, you end up going down further than, you know, the tub height. So it's I once had some portable bath mat units. They were like circular, almost flower-shaped things that had a bunch of suction cups on the bottom. There'd be like, I think like 6 or 8 of them in a group. I'm not sure what I did with them, but what I'd do is I would take them with me when traveling and put them on the bottom of the tub or shower surface, and that would be a portable sort of mat, and I'd carry them around in a Ziploc bag from place to place. But I seem to have lost track of them. If I do find something like that, I will put information for that in the narrative section below the video frame, so that maybe you can learn from my past mistakes. But that's one of the problems of traveling, is slippery tubs and no grab bars. And oh, the other thing here is this shower curtain actually goes about 3/4 of the length of the entire tub, whereas a lot of these places in Europe have a wall that's only like halfway across the tub or shower, and so a lot of water splashes out. Here, the shower curtain actually has been pretty good because it keeps the water from splashing out. Okay, if my count is correct, this is our 10th hotel in Europe this year, 2025, staying at the Radisson airport because it was too much to get to the airport at 9 a.m. from Bern to Zurich, even though there's mass transit. So we got here about noon today to the train station at the airport, Zurich. So we ask again for 2 twin beds, and we're hoping that we won't have to touch either of these suitcases, so they're just parked here. And then we have the smaller suitcase and 1 tote bag with toiletries, etc. So this looks like a shower capsule. And then a toilet room. And then a hallway sink. So once again you have to put a card in the card reader to get lights. But it looks like it has everything, and a lot more spacious than that Ibis hotel was in Bern. But this is just for 1 overnight. We have a flight out about noon tomorrow, and it'll be easy to get there by 9 in the morning for 3 hours early for the flight. Heading back to the US on a non-stop flight tomorrow. So this shower capsule has a ceiling vent, has a shelf above, soap dispensers, and then a seat. But it's also helpful, you know, if you want to wash your feet, you don't have to balance on 1 foot. You can put 1 foot on there and wash there. The exterior here ends up being not opaque, but it really doesn't show any images through, so it does afford a significant amount of privacy in the room. The floor has all these bumps on it, and I think it's like a non-slip floor the way it feels. So both my wife and I were very satisfied with this shower. Even though it's just a handheld sprayer with a holder here, it actually, you know, it worked exceptionally well for a shower, with plenty of elbow room actually compared to some of the other showers we've been in Europe. And then it's not a stretch to reach towel if you put it here on this bar. Even if you're taking it from the bottom shelf, there's only 1 step to get to it, so it's a very good setup for this shower. The toilet room is also quite complete. As typical with Europeans, there's a smaller volume flush and a full flush, spare toilet paper roll, wastebasket, small sink, towel rack, and a mirror. So it's quite complete. And then a little shelf here if you have something you want to put it on while you're going to the bathroom. And it is a functional ceiling vent as well. I've been trying to figure out how to deal with slippery bathtubs for the time I was in Europe, and I think I have a solution here. I got these from Amazon. Suction cup bath treads, set of 6. Now, I bought 2 sets because I thought, well, maybe 1 set's not going to be enough. So now this is the weight of these bath mats. 2 sets plus packaging, less than 9 ounces. So I figure I'll take the 6 or 8 or maybe even 10 and stick them in a gallon Ziploc bag and take them with me along a trip and put them on the bottom of slippery showers or slippery bathtubs when I'm traveling. I'm going to test them out now. Okay, so 2 sets of these, which is 12 treads, weigh only approximately 7 ounces. Each one of these little bath mat things has 28 suction cups. So I placed 10 of them on the bottom of this standard American tub. So my size 13 feet cover 2 of them at a time. So I think that'll be enough protection. Just take them off the tub when done, dry them with a towel, stick them in a Ziploc bag, and you're ready for the next hotel you're going to. You haven't died in the meantime from slipping on a slippery tub. So I think this is the solution to traveling and dragging along your own bath mat. Bagged and ready to travel. Now another approach would be to get a bath mat, something like this, which is like 15 inches by 27 inches or something, or a rectangular one like this, which is similar in size, and then cut it in quarters so that it would lie flat in the bottom of the suitcase. Then you just put 4 pieces on the bottom of a tub instead of 6, 8, or 10. But it wouldn't be as lightweight as 7 ounces. This is like closer to 2 pounds. Thicker plastic. On the positive side, it's got larger suction cups, so it's probably easier to get it to stick. But anyway, there's lots of ways to have more safety while traveling in slippery bathtubs, which is to bring your own mat.